What's up, guys? Chris here from Mainly Mesh. So what I'm going to be talking about today is how I do my ones and twos, and also kind of talking about what I do when I say tie on a hole. So they kind of go together. So when I'm doing my ones and twos, so a one is where you're going to float a diamond in between two holes. So you're not actually tying it down to either sidewall hole, but you're going to float it in between. And so a lot of people use ones and twos to start bunching up to create their channels in the pockets of their heads. Greg from East Coast Dies loves using the ones and twos, especially because they're so easy to do, easy to explain. But so here's how I do them. A lot of people go up through the mesh hole for their ones and twos, but I personally don't like that because I think it can create a weird bunch that I just don't prefer. And I know there's a lot of people that do it like that, but I think the way my channels work, I haven't really found an opportunity to use that where it's come out better than how I like to do it. So I actually go down through the mesh hole when I'm doing my ones, and I actually like to give the mesh hole a little half turn so that you can see here it's being kind of held down by your one. To me, it's a little sturdier and it creates a little better channel, but to each his own. So you do your one, you go down through the mesh hole, and then what you're going to do when I say a tie is you're going to go from the outside in. You're actually going to pull this as tight as you need to go. And then you're going to go from the outside in again, except through this little gap that you have between the sidewall string and the sidewall itself. So there's going to be a little gap, and you're going to feed your string through that gap. And now this is the most important part. You're not just pulling that down. If you were to pull that down, it would create this weird little nothing knot that isn't actually doing anything. So before you pull it down, you see there's this loop, and you're going to go from the back side of the head out through that loop. So once again, in its entirety, you've pulled down tight. You're going from the outside in through the little gap between the sidewall and the string. And then we have our loop, and we're going from the inside. Oop, things got tangled. We're going from the inside of the head, the back side of the head, to the front side of the head through that loop. And what you'll notice is as you pull that down, now we have a nice little overhand knot tie, and that's going to stay nice and sturdy. And so you can see how if you were going to do another one, going down through that hole, outside in, pulling it tight, outside in between the sidewall and that sidewall string, from the back side to the front side of the head. It's very tied down, very sturdy, a pain in the booty to unstring, but keeps everything tight. And that's how I do my ones. And if you wanted to do a two, you would just go down through two mesh holes, etc., etc. So that's the tie, and tomorrow you will see how that bridges into a stacked SI. I'll catch you guys next time.